In 2023, the Detroit Lions show that they are more than ready to contend for a Super Bowl title. But as they get ready to start 2024, the Lions are getting set to unleash a secret weapon on an unsuspecting NFL. We're going to talk about it in this episode, folks. Don't you dare miss it.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, all Detroit Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike. And as always, we're diving on in. But before we do so, again, I want to make sure you guys know about this great deal that is happening with Rent-A-Center. On Thursday, June 13th at 3855 Lapeer Road in Flint, Michigan, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., there is a deal that is going on that you guys absolutely can't miss out on. There is a 50% off on select items within the store, and there is a penny down starts any new agreement on any item of your choice within the store. There's going to be free food, there's going to be music, there's going to be games. It's a great community event. You guys absolutely need to go. So please, make sure you go, make sure you attend. And with that being said, let's dive into the content. So, here's the thing, folks. When we take a look at the Detroit Lions here, over the last couple of years, the Lions have become a powerhouse, and they are now a top contender this year to go to the Super Bowl in 2024. Like, again, if you go and you talk to the Vegas betting odds, you take a look at multiple different NFL analysts and other people that are pretty much the experts, quote-unquote, in the NFL as far as contenders for the Super Bowl, the Lions are right up there. If I recall correctly, in Vegas, they've got the number 4 betting odds, so it's like, listen, everybody's looking at the Lions as a Super Bowl contender this year. And when we start thinking about how we got to this point, it's through the ability that Brad Holmes has showed in his absolutely brilliant management style. And then you also have to think about the rest of the front office, whether it's been Sheila, whether it's been Chris Spielman. They've done an absolutely just stupendous job. And then you start taking a look at other factors, such as the superb leadership that Dan Campbell and all of his coaches have demonstrated to the players while they're on the field. And because of these two aspects, the Lions have developed a culture which fosters growth and progress for its players, whether they're rookies or whether they're veterans. It does not matter. And because of this, the Lions have had massive seasons of production from some of their youngest players, and this right here is part of the biggest reason why the Lions have made the massive strides that they've made over the last couple of years. And I'm telling you this right now, because of that, the Lions are already getting a lot of envy and a lot of jealousy from the rest of the NFL. Like, you seriously have to think about it here. The Lions have found this secret formula, and I've talked about it in the past, but they have found a way to find great talent, and it's almost already, just as soon as we get it, it's already producing, it's already having a huge impact on the Lions. Such examples that I can think of right off the top of my head, and these are the biggest examples. I'm not saying that there's not more, I'm just saying that these are the biggest examples that come right to mind, such as Jahmyr Gibbs, such as Sam Laporta, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson. Those guys, almost as soon as we got them, they instantaneously made an impact, and it was a huge impact. And again, that's not to say that there aren't other guys that have made impacts. Again, I know Brian Branch is another one. I'm just simply saying, those guys are the guys that instantaneously come to mind that made the biggest impact as soon as we got them. And you have to think about it. All of the players that I just mentioned, and several others that have made those huge impacts, they are the main reason why the Lions are in the position that they are to contend for a Super Bowl. They're the main reason why the Lions have that chance to actually do something that for a long time Lions fans never thought was ever going to happen. We hoped, we prayed, we dreamed. But now we're no longer hoping and praying and dreaming. It's on the verge of reality. However, despite all of the great return on investment that the Lions have gotten from a majority of the rookies that we've drafted under Brad Holmes, That does not mean that there have been some rookies that we've drafted that have not necessarily given the most back in return, that they've been very minimalist so far, pardon me. Such guys that instantaneously come to mind are guys like Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Paschal, Ife Melifonwu, and Jameson Williams. And I know for a lot of Lions fans, there are quite a couple of these guys that they would like to see start, showing some of that investment back to the Detroit Lions. Especially guys like Levi Onwuzurike, such as, Josh Paschal. We've already seen some of it a little bit with Ife Melifonwu, especially over the last 6 or 7 games last year. So there's more that we want to see. There's more we want to be bringing out. And with Jameson Williams, we've seen a smidge of what we could get. But again, there's much, much more we could get. There's much more that's untapped there. However, though, of all of the 4 guys that I just mentioned, one of these guys is an absolute secret weapon that the Detroit Lions are building and priming to just absolutely be unleashed upon the NFL. And it will make the Lions even more of a force to be reckoned with, even much more dangerous than what they already are. The player that I'm speaking of is wide receiver Jameson Williams. I've spoken quite extensively about Jameson Williams this offseason, and if you think about it, this 2024 season that's upcoming for JMO is one of great importance, not only for him, but also for the Detroit Lions. It's a great, how do I put this? Those two are conjoined together at the hip as far as how important this season is for each other. JMO, it's important for him because he needs to show that he was worthy of that first-round draft pick and that he can receive a new contract that's upcoming in the coming years, because we have to understand something. He's already going into the 3rd year of his rookie contract. He's technically got 1 more year guaranteed, and then there's a chance he could get a 5th-year option. He absolutely has to show something this year so that way he can start actually building an argument. He can start presenting a case that he deserves to get a new contract, because right now there's not really much evidence that provides to that situation that would say, yes, he does deserve to get a new contract. But then, like I said, it's not just for JMO that this season is important. It's also important for the Lions. And here's the reason why for them. Because the Lions want to see what they officially have in Jameson Williams as a player, and again, for long-term potential, whether or not they want to keep him here. And the second reason that this is important for the Detroit Lions is because they need him to step up to help the Lions offense to take that next step and to take the team potentially to the Super Bowl. Now understand something here. For some people, they'd be like, well, wait a minute, David, how can this Lions offense take another step? Dude, they're one of the best, if not the best offense in the NFL. What's the next step for them? Trust me, I'm going to tell you this right now. Brad Holmes has the greatest mindset about this. It's like, listen, just when you think you've arrived, just when you think you've gotten where you can't go any further, you can always take another step. You can always get better. You can always progress further. Now, I fully know that for many Lions fans, this is a season that they are watching with both great anticipation and also with anxiety, both in general and for JMO. And I'm not talking about a bad anxiety. I'm talking like, man, we just can't wait for this season to start because we want the season to start. We want to watch our Lions play, but we also want to see what Jameson Williams does. And the question that many Lions fans have when it comes to him is, will JMO meet expectations and live up to his first-round billing? To answer that question and to provide my own expertise on it, I believe he can and will. And this is the reason why. And the reason why is centering around another quarterback wide receiver tandem that is in the NFL that I think provides a very good contrast and comparison to what the Lions have right now. That's Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I believe that there is an inverse comparison between Jared Goff and Jameson Williams in opposite of Tyreek Hill and Tua Tagovailoa. First and foremost, let's consider the comparison between Tyreek Hill and Jameson Williams. And the biggest comparison that those two have is just their pure, raw, unadulterated speed. Hill is known as the cheetah in the NFL because he has long been considered one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player, in the entirety of the NFL. Well, for us Lions fans, we know that Jameson Williams, when he was coming out of college, was considered an absolutely just, I don't even know how you want to put it. Like, this dude was considered fast, beyond fast. And it was considered a bit of a shame that he tore his ACL because we never officially found out what his 40 time speed is. But what we have heard already coming out of OTAs and minicamps this year, especially from guys like Sam Laporta and other guys that are in the office, they're like, dude, the man can fly. He is just flat out fast. So it's like, okay, you have players that know what fast is like on the field, and they're taking a look at JMO and they're like, dude, this guy has some serious speed. Well, think about it, folks. We might not know what kind of speed Jameson Williams has as far as a record. But we do know that when we talk about Tyreek Hill's speed in terms of what he provides to an offense, his speed has been able to be an exploitation point for offensive coordinators and QBs, whether it was with the Chiefs or now with the Dolphins. Think about it. His speed allows the offense to be very spread out and wide open, either allowing deep shots to himself or to other players, or to allow underneath route concepts to be open for his quarterback to easily hit them. And let's just think about this. Consider this just for a moment. If you take a look at Tyreek Hill's career, as far as when he really first burst on the scene back in 2017, I decided to start taking some looks at as far as the offenses, the passing offenses specifically, as far as where they ranked in regards to when he was playing. In 2017, when he was with the Chiefs, which was Alex Smith's last year as the starting quarterback, the Chiefs had the number 7 ranked offense in terms of passing offense. It was also Tyreek Hill's first 1,000-yard receiving season. In 2018, which was Mahomes' first year, they had the 3rd best passing offense in the league. In 2019, that was the year that Tyreek Hill missed, I believe it was either 4 or 5 games with injury. But think about this, folks. Tyreek Hill still put up well over 800 yards. He was the 2nd leading receiver on the team, and the Chiefs still finished with the 5th best passing offense that year. Then in 2020, when he came back, the Chiefs had the number 1 passing offense that year. And in 2021, the Chiefs, his last year with the Chiefs, the Chiefs had the 4th best passing offense. Then we go to when he got traded from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. Very first year that Tyreek Hill goes to the Dolphins in 2022 have the 4th best passing offense in the league. That's the first year that he's with the Dolphins, and it's mostly Tua Tagovailoa who's playing quarterback. And then in 2023, this last year, the Dolphins had the number 1 passing offense in terms of overall passing yards. Now, here's why these last 2 years with the Dolphins are particularly important. Think about this, folks, because I had to do some serious digging to figure this out. You want to know when the last time the Dolphins had a top 10 passing offense prior to 2022 was? It was in 2008 when they had the number 10 passing ranked offense. So between 2022 and 2008, you are talking about a humongous gap where the passing offense of the Dolphins was not very good at all. And then think about this. Like I said, the Dolphins had 2 top 10 seasons. Actually, if you want to get more specific, they had 2 top 5 passing seasons. But you want to know when the last time the Dolphins had 2 top 10 passing seasons prior to 2008? Prior to this last 2 years? It was in 1997 and 1998. That was the last time the Dolphins had back-to-back top 10 passing seasons. That was the Dan Marino era, folks. You were talking about 25 years removed. That alone just speaks to the sheer impact that Tyreek Hill has on offenses that he has been in. But it also helps having Patrick Mahomes throwing to you, having Andy Reid for a head coach, and Mike McDaniel for a head coach. These are all guys that know what the hell they're doing when it comes to offense. Now, some people are going to ask me, okay, David, that's great about Tyreek Hill, but what the hell does that have to do with JMO? How does that pertain to Jameson Williams and the Detroit Lions? Okay, I'm glad you asked. Here's how. First and foremost, again, the Lions have not had a consistent deep threat receiver since arguably the days we had Megatron, Calvin Johnson. And even then, Calvin Johnson was a deep threat because of his sheer size. Not necessarily because he was a burner, but he definitely had fast speed. He was fast. But he wasn't Jameson Williams fast. Think about this, folks. If you use Jameson Williams' speed fully and repeatedly, just like the Dolphins and like the Chiefs did Tyreek Hill, that is going to allow the Lions to unlock an oft unused part of their offense, because it's going to help other areas that have already been mastered be further used. Think about it. The Lions are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, off of play action and intermediate passing. If you allow Jameson Williams to fully be unleashed, to fully take the top off of defenses, that's going to mean those underneath routes are going to be even more wide open, which is what Jared Goff loves to use. But again, that then means that defenses are going to start creeping up to try and cover the underneath stuff, which then means if Jamo's open deep, which we've seen Jared Goff throw the ball to Jamo deep a couple of times, that then means the Lions can start exploiting stuff over the top. When you have a consistent deep threat, it means that everything now becomes available. And I'm sorry to say it, but the Lions have not had a very consistent deep threat over the last couple of years. We've had guys like DJ Chark. That was okay, but that was nowhere near as good as what we were hoping for. We have Khalif Raymond, who is a speedster in of himself, but he doesn't have the size that you would like out of Jameson Williams in comparison. So having Jamo's speed and size, and the fact that he's kind of bulked up a little bit this year, I noticed that myself, that means the Lions have the ability to fully exploit that. Number two, you have to think about it from this perspective as also, unlike Tua being the less experienced and the needing to catch up schematically and professionally in regards to when Tyreek Hill got to the Dolphins, because by the time Tyreek got to the Dolphins, I think Tua was only in his second year with the Dolphins, so he was still kind of catching up how to play professional football, whereas Tyreek Hill had been doing it for quite a couple of years. The inverse is true when you're talking about the Lions. Goff has been playing football now for going on almost a decade in the NFL. He is a very well-seasoned vet. He is a true professional. He is a top 7 to top 10 quarterback. And what we know about Jared Goff is that he has developed several different types of wide receivers in the NFL over the years. He's developed Cooper Kupp. He's developed Josh Reynolds. He's developed Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's developed Sam Laporta. And this right here shows me that Jared Goff has the ability to not only develop wide receivers to be good players, good receivers in of their own right, but he has the ability to develop great chemistry with them. And we have to understand something else here about Jared Goff from the past. Jared Goff has also shown a good ability to throw the ball deep in the past. You don't believe me? Take a look at some highlights from the 2018 Rams when he was throwing to Brandon Cooks. You will absolutely get an education. I've talked about it in the past. And just to put it in a little bit more closer to home while we're talking about the Detroit Lions, in 2022, Jared Goff was the second highest passer in terms of throws of 20 yards or more. He was also tied second in the NFL with passes of 40 yards or more. And in 2023, again, he was ranked second in passes of 20 yards or more, and he was tied seventh in passes of 40 yards or more. Jared Goff definitely has the ability to throw the ball deep. It's just not an oft-used part of our offense because the intermediate game has been such a well-oiled machine for us. We don't have to throw it down the field 40, 50, 60 yards all the damn time. We can use that intermediate game to move us down the field methodically. But if you use Jameson Williams like you use Tyreek Hill, you can all of a sudden start ratcheting up that number. You can start ratcheting up the deep shots immensely. And then the third thing here, let's understand something. The Lions already have a top 10 offense. They already have a top 10 passing offense. Hell, a top 5 passing offense. Think about this. And that's been for the last 2 years. And that's without much participation from Jameson Williams, folks. Think about that. We've had a top 5 passing offense the last 2 years without Jameson Williams really even being a part of that offense. You all of a sudden unleash Jameson Williams into that offense. You give him that full ability to play and go all out. Oh, good Lord. It is going to be like unleashing a tsunami on freaking the NFL. You're going to talk about a Honolulu Blue silver wave coming all over the NFL, and they're not going to know how to stop freaking Jameson Williams in this Ben Johnson offense. They might have an inkling, but it's like, listen, the Ben Johnson offense, while it takes from different areas, it's completely unique unto itself. And I can guarantee you this, with Ben Johnson's creativity, Jared Goff, and Jamo, they will have a lot of fun with defenses. Just think about it, folks. The ability for Jamo to be the number 2 man this year, it will take this offense both schematically and productivity, in terms of product and production, to another level. A level that we have not yet seen. I truly believe that. So think about it, folks. Again, Coupling these points with the extremely deep offensive array of talent that the Lions have, because the Lions have the number one offensive line in football. We have the best offensive coordinator. We have the best running back duo in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We have a top 10 wide receiver opposite of J-Mo in Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have a top 3 tight end in Sam Laporta. And like I said, we have a top 7, top 10 quarterback in Jared Goff. With all the points that I'm talking about, with what the Dolphins have done with Tyreek Hill and what I expect the Lions are going to do with Jameson Williams, I fully expect that not only will J-Mo have an amazing season this upcoming year, but that he is the secret, he is the true piece, the missing link to fully unlocking the Lions offense to reach epic levels, to fully unleashing him and the rest of the Lions offense on an unsuspecting NFL. That is my point with this episode. Having said that, I think I've reached the conclusion of it, and I'm going to end the episode and say again, thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these 3 things: like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you not had a chance to do so, again, subscribe, it helps me out. But also, I want to encourage y'all, I want to remind y'all, please, make sure you hit that bell notification icon as well, so that way you guys never miss any more content that I push out. I also encourage y'all, please, to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. The more we can share it, the greater the reach, the greater the greater ability we have to bring in people to the channel. And with that, before I end the episode, again, I want to remind y'all, this Thursday, June 13th, at 3855 Lapeer Road in Flint, Michigan, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., make sure you go to the Rent-A-Center building there, so that way you guys can get great deals. It's going to be a great community event. There's going to be 50% off select items within the store. They're going to have penny down starts any new agreement on any item of your choice within the store. There'll be free food, there'll be music, there'll be games. You will not want to miss out on this community event. It'll be a great time and a great chance to get great deals. With that having been said, I hope you all have enjoyed the content. I hope you all have something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. And with that being said, God bless. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.